What's up, Bogur Nation? I have exciting news. The new mid-season of Marvel Rivals 4.5 is coming up very, very soon. This means that there are brand new patch notes. I am excited about there though, but I'm also excited to read and see how they're changing the game because the game needs a lot of changes. It is very stale right now, and we have been playing the same meta for a couple of seasons. I did glance over the changes, I do want to point out, so I have a slight idea on what's happening. A lot of it is good, a lot of it is questionable. Anyways, before I get into it, obviously like, comment, subscribe, all this stuff. Check out the stream, check out Bogur Nation, and yep, let's get into it. First and foremost, Duelist. Mr. Fantastic, after successfully pulling an enemy with distant grip, the target is now afflicted with a 1-second immobilized effect, which I assume is a stun. Now, I am not sure whether or not they mean a stun because they always word things differently, but I would just talk as if it is a stun. And if it is a 1-second stun, I think that is a really good effect. I don't know. I am not sure if it makes the character good. I don't think the character will be meta. I don't think it actually fixes any of the issues, which are, you know, he's a melee character. So a lot of characters like Hela, Phoenix just do way more from a longer distance. They do more damage. Second of all, he doesn't do that much damage unless you go into the enemy backline. And the higher rank you go, the harder that is to do. As a matter of fact, I think he is one of the few characters I barely see. I see Scarlet's, I see Spider-Man's, I see Penny, but I never see Mr. Fantastic. I think I've seen 2 Mr. Fantastics in my games in the last like 2 seasons, right? And I know I'm a high rank player, but still it is a very low amount. So not to mention he has a lot of bugs that need fixing, a lot of no regs. But obviously this buff is very welcome. I don't think it's going to change much about the character. I think he's still going to be pretty bad. Next up, we have Phoenix. Phoenix actually has no, like, it doesn't, they're removing the animation cancel. So Phoenix now, melee attacks no longer stack sparks. So every time you melee, it doesn't give you a spark. So like the little effect above their head that explodes when you have 3 stacks. Primary weapon ammo no longer replenishes during Dark Ascent, so whenever she's flying, she doesn't replenish ammo, which is a really good change. And now she has 1-second cooldown to Dark Ascent, so you can no longer do the animation cancel that you have seen a lot of people do that use Dark Ascent by spamming it and just shooting all the time, because every time you would use it, you would regain ammo, and you would also be able to animation cancel and shoot faster, and then it would just blow up the enemies. I'm very happy they did that, because the animation cancel made this character way too strong. Now that that's gone, I feel like the meta is going to shift a bit. We're probably going to see a little bit more Hela. We're going to see a little bit of, you know, Psylocke as well, because she is getting buffed. I digress about Phoenix. Good changes. Plus, Bogur Nation approves. Hela. Reducing Astral Flock startup cast time. After casting, Hela gains 25 bonus health. So, Astral Flock, I assume, I don't know the ability names, I'm not a caster, they do need to mandatory remember all the names of every ability, but I assume it is the ability where she just flies away and becomes invulnerable for a bit. This means she can cast it faster, so she doesn't have that huge delay before she flies out, which is a good quality of life change. It felt clunky, and she's gonna get 25 bonus health, which just allows her to escape faster. I don't mind this change. It's going to help her to deal with dive. It's going to help her with a lot of things that just go to her and kill her. And it's going to be easier to just escape. Her main kit is unaffected. I think it's a very strong character, especially now that Phoenix is getting a huge nerf. We probably will see quite a bit of Hela. So whether or not this is a good change, I don't know, because I think Hela was in a good spot. The only issue was that Phoenix was really, really good. But, you know, I don't have strong opinions about this change. Psylocke. I have strong opinions about this change though. Reduce self-slow rate during Dance of the Butterfly from 30% to 15%. Increase each strike's damage from 150 to 170. I don't know the exact math of this, but a lot of the times you could just stack up and tank Psylocke. You could even stack up as Invisible Woman and Luna and just heal each other. I don't know if this new increase of her damage per strike is actually going to change it so you cannot do that anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. What I know for certain is that Psylocke was good already, and now that the other meta character Phoenix is getting nerfed, she's already going to be played more. Not to mention that they reduced or increased her movement speed whenever she's actually in her ultimate, which means she can like get to people much faster. It is actually, the slow is half, which you will notice in game that she can like run away basically, or like she's invulnerable, so she has no legs, but she can get to targets much faster. She can escape the combat much faster. She can get into a safer position from where she can, you know, just cancel her ultimate and leave. This is a big change for Psylocke. A lot of Psy mains would complain that this character is way too weak with her ultimate. Like her ultimate wasn't able to kill people unless you combo with people. And if you don't combo with your teammates, it's kind of hard to kill the enemies because they can just out heal. And I don't know if this is still the case. I think this is a big change. I think it's a big buff. I'm not too happy about it because Psylocke has been meta for a while, and this is one of the few seasons we haven't seen her dominate as much as before. I still see her quite often, but I think we're probably gonna see her again, and we're gonna see her a lot. So I'm not too happy about this change. I think it's a little bit tone deaf, but you know, it's a good character. I'd rather have Psylocke be meta than Mr. Fantastic. Anyways, next up, strategist. Cloak and Dagger, this very small change. Increase the energy cost of Eternal Bond from 4,300 to 4,500. 200 increase, not too much, not too big of a deal. Cloak is still gonna be fine. It doesn't really change much. I don't think there is much for me to even discuss. You're probably not gonna even feel the difference, right? It's still gonna be the same thing. She gets her ultimate fast. She's still gonna get her ultimate really, really fast. Jeff the Land Shark reduced the crit damage reduction from the Oblivion Cuteness passive from 70 to 50%. So he's gonna get headshotted more, in the sense that he's gonna take more damage whenever he gets headshot, which is a good change because Jeff has been dominating pro play and high rank quite a bit, but I don't think it actually changes why he's so dominant in these ranks. We see a lot of triple support, and Jeff has his stream that deals damage and heals at the same time. So if everybody's stacked up, you're poking the enemy backline, forcing them to heal each other, but you're also healing your team. So you're just at an advantage at all times because his healing is so much. His damage isn't too much, but it just allows for you to create a lot of chaos, and that's a very strong effect considering the fact that he's still very hard to kill. Maybe this will allow the enemies or like people facing him to actually go and kill him much faster and dive him, but I don't think it's gonna change the issue at hand. And second of all, his ultimate is just so strong. If you hit it, it's a guaranteed fight win, right? If you get 2 people, 3 people, a mag bubble on your Jeff, you just win the fight. So I think we're still going to see a lot of Jeff. I don't think it changes the core issues with the character. It is very hard to balance this guy, but they definitely need to do something because I think a lot of people are very, very annoyed at seeing this hero so much. I am annoyed at seeing this hero so much in my games, and he's quite often bad. Next up, Rocket Raccoon. Increased damage boost granted by his ultimate from 25 to 40%, which is huge. Huge deal. I think it's basically how his ultimate worked back in the day, which only granted damage boost. Now it grants shields, healing, and damage boost. Actually, not sure about the healing. He might just grant shields, but the point still stands. This allows for a lot of things. You can now combo using Rocket's ultimate. You don't have to use it only defensively. 25% damage boost wasn't that big of a deal, but 40 is a big deal because Venom can one-shot combo. He doesn't need a Luna. He can do it with Rocket, and you can do a lot of stuff with this. You can combo with Strange. You know, Strange can ult Rocket Raccoon damage boost. You can one-shot people. You can probably, you know, do a lot of stuff. You know, Hela 40% damage boost is just gonna dominate. Like Ultron, Iron Man, all the ultimates that like usually cannot kill through can now kill through. Wolverine ultimate. Like there's a lot of things. This is a big deal. Rocket has already played a lot. He isn't too strong, but I think this is a big buff. The main weakness is obviously the fact that you can break the damage amp, but you know, I think the fact that it gives you damage amplification now that is 40% is probably gonna balance it out more, because you're not gonna be playing to keep it alive as long as possible just for the shields. You can now play more aggressively. So maybe a good change, maybe not. I'm honestly Switzerland on this case. I don't think it really breaks the character, but you know, anything to make the support meta a little bit more different. Next up, Ultron. Reduce imperative patch healing amount from 35 to 30, and healing bonus to the fold ally from 10 to 5. So I think that is his little drone that heals. I am not sure. I think so, because it's following the ally. So he's gonna heal people less with his drone, which will allow for them to be more killable. It is quite strong of a drone. You know, it is not as strong as Luna healing or Cloak and Dagger healing, but it is still very good. I still do think that, you know, maybe this change isn't enough, but it might be. Like, Ultron is another terrorist character that has been in the meta for a little bit now, purely because he is a DPS character masquerading as a strategist, and you can just off-angle, do damage consistently, and heal. I don't know if 5 healing is that big of a deal, but maybe it is, right? And not to mention that the healing bonus is also reduced, so maybe. I'm not a scientist, maybe Guang Guang cooked. And then next up, we have his ultimate charging up slow, which is very, very important, from 3,400 to 3,700. That is a good change, purely because his ultimate would always be farmed first, and if he had his ultimate before anyone else, more often than not, you would just win the fight. It is very strong, it does a lot of damage, it does a lot of healing, it swings the battle, and even if you don't kill anything, you're probably going to waste everybody's cooldowns, and your team can take space, and space is very, very important. Again, I don't think it is going to remove him from the meta. I think triple support will still be meta. They haven't hit Jeff or Ultron hard enough to make triple support any weaker than this currently. So, you know, in that sense, I think we still need some changes. But I might be wrong. You know, I'm a human, and I do make mistakes, right? We have more changes for some duelists. We have more changes for some vanguards. First and foremost, we have Angela. She has been seeing a lot of play here and there, but nothing too crazy. I think her ultimate is a little bit too weak. So they're actually buffing her ultimate. After activating Divine Judgment, increase access of Icor's Angela's bonus health from 30 per enemy hit to 40, and allies from 15 to 20. Okay, so that is not her ultimate, actually. I think that's just her slamming the ground and just like pow, 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 pow. So this means she's gonna get bonus health, more of it, and this will mean that she is tankier, and so will her teammates be more tanky, which doesn't change anything about why she isn't being played. Nobody is not playing her because her Divine Judgment was too weak. I'm pretty sure this will also affect her ultimate, by the way, because her ultimate effect after slamming the ground is the same as her ability. So, you know, 2 buffs basically. But, you know, her biggest weakness is that she doesn't do any consistent damage. She goes for boosts, but if the map doesn't allow you to boop people, it is very difficult to actually get kills. You can, you know, get people into your team like Wolverine, but more often than not, she's just way too easy to counter and kill by Invisible Woman, even Jeff the Land Shark, Emma Grab, anything, right? I do want to point out that Emma still hasn't been nerfed again, which is big no-no. I don't know why they refuse to nerf this character anymore, but people don't like playing the character. People are tired of playing against the character. The character just makes the game really unfun. And I definitely think Emma needs to be adjusted even more. They are kind of too scared of changing her main strength, that is her laser and crystal bursting, which deals a lot of damage, right? Emma is just too strong. This is just a slight, you know, I'm just going outside of what's written on the screen and talking about my dissatisfactions with the game, and it is quite genuinely Emma Frost. Anyways, moving on. Angela buffs, very good. I don't think it changes the character too much. Venom, this is a huge change. This is a massive change, as a matter of fact. Venom is getting a huge buff to his ultimate. Whenever he uses it and he does the little chomp, he applies a 30% healing reduction lasting 4 seconds. So now, not only is Venom one of the strongest characters in the game, in the sense that he is very good at diving, living, farming support oats, and even one-shotting with his ultimate, which happens quite often if you have a damage boost. You can now do that with Rocket Raccoon damage boost, Luna damage boost, so it's going to happen more often. And now, even if you don't one-shot, they're going to be anti-healed, which means that they're going to take more damage during their support dose because they're not going to be healing as much. This is insane. This is ridiculous, as a matter of fact. I think Venom is probably going to be S tier tank, right? You go into a game, you ban Emma Frost, you play Emma. Not Emma, you play Venom. Like, even if you don't ban Emma, as long as you bait her diamond form, you can just run around on Venom. You can dive the enemy team and do so much, right? I think Venom was already good. I think this buff right here, it makes him really good. He's been getting buff after buff every single season. I think this is just pushing him over the edge. And if you don't play Venom next season, season 4.5, I think you're just like kind of throwing. I'm just saying. Is it even season 4.5 or is it season 5.5? I don't remember. I think it's season 5.5. Anyways, I'm going forward. Duelist. Blade does need some changes, so they are buffing him. Increase Daywalker dash secondary attack range from 4.5 to 6.5. So this will increase the dash of his secondary attack, which is his gun. No, his blade. I need to do some research here. So I'm reading this right here. I would assume that's his gun, but I might be wrong because I'm trying to read the website. It is very difficult to actually figure out what they're talking about. I wish they were more clear with things, but I would assume that's for his gun. So his gun's range on his dash is going to be 6.5 meters instead of 4.5, which is quite good because you can anti-heal people more consistently. Then increase the duration of each slash speed attack gained during Bloodline Awakening from 0.7 to 1. So the duration of each slash speed attack gain. Okay, so this means this is like, yeah, okay. So this means that every single time you actually get a stack, for example, you have 10 stacks, instead of it lasting 0.7 or 7 seconds at max stacks, it's now gonna last 10 seconds, which is a good buff because you can more consistently keep the stacks up. You can more consistently gain the stacks because it's not decreasing or like leaving the chungus as fast, and it's just a good quality of life change. So this is good. The anti-heal buff is good, or like the dash is good. This is good. And also he has a new effect. Landing all 4 hits of Whirlwind Slash grants 1 slash speed attack. So if he does the Whirlwind Slash, he actually gets 1 more slash speed attack. So his speed attack, speed stacks are gonna stack up way faster, which means you're gonna be, having a better time using the ability and getting value out of it. So overall, pretty good changes, pretty decent. I don't know if he's gonna be meta from this. This might push him over the edge. I think his biggest weakness right now is that his main anti-heal effect that is supposed to be what makes him good, the fact that he anti-heals is just not good enough. It's inconsistent. It's not enough anti-heal. It doesn't last enough, and it's hard to hit. So, but maybe these changes do make him better. I don't think he's that bad. I played a couple of games of him in my ranked games on a different account. And he was decent, he wasn't that bad. Also, his ultimate seems like a little bit too weak, but maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe I just don't understand the character. But moving on. Human Torch, finally, he's getting nerfed because he's been meta for a while, and not only is he meta, he's the strongest DPS, the strongest duelist by far. He's perma-banned every single game. I haven't seen him in any of my games in the past month or two, right? Perma-banned in pro play, perma-banned in pro play. I just said that twice. Perma-banned pro play, perma-banned in high ranked. And finally, he's getting nerfed. Reduce fire cluster hit damage per projectile from 5.5 to 5. And fire cluster now has 0.5 second delay before ammo begins to replenish. And then during plasma body, reduce movement speed from 900 to 850. So when he's flying around, he's going to be slower, which is good because he is very, very fast and very hard to kill. And second of all, whenever he hits his fire clusters, that is his main attack, he's gonna do way less damage. It's 0.5 per projectile, and he shoots like 10 projectiles or something, right? So this is a big damage nerf. This is a huge damage nerf, as a matter of fact. I think it might make him a little bit weaker from before, in the sense that he won't be a must pick, right? And not to mention that he's not going to replenish his ammo as fast as before. He has a 0.5 second delay before replenishing his ammo. So not only does he deal less damage, he's going to have less chances of dealing damage. He can't just spam consistently and just pump it out until he gets his ultimate or just kills something, right? That's good. You know, that's very good. Human Torch has been a very big problem in the game. Impossible to kill. Impossible to deal with because of his team-ups, because of Luna Snowflake, and because of the fact that his movement is like a crackhead. Like, he just zooms around everywhere, and it's just so difficult to hit him. It's impossible, as a matter of fact, to do something about him most of the time, even if you pick a hit scan like Hela or Phoenix, right? So I'm glad they're nerfing this. I hope it is enough to dethrone him, right? And finally see some different bans. And speaking of bans, I do wish that they add more bans. Maybe not now, but next season. Finally, Iron Fist is getting some more changes. God bless his heart, he's getting changed every single season. Lower fixed damage of Yat Ji Chung Quen. I don't speak Chinese, guys. From 9 to 8, but increase the percent damage of the enemy's max health per strike from 2.7 to 3.1. So they keep buffing how much damage he does to tanks until probably he becomes the next Wolverine. As a matter of fact, he does more damage to tanks right now than Wolverine does. So he's going to do less damage to supports because I think this is primary fire. And he's just going to do way more damage to tanks once more, right? So I don't know what they're cooking. I don't think they know what they're cooking with Iron Fist. And I think they definitely need to think really hard whether or not they want a second Wolverine in the game that just runs around and bullies tanks, because it is a miserable experience playing against an Iron Fist that just focuses tanks, especially if they have a Wolverine and you can't play the game, right? So he's not a good character, he's an annoying character, and I don't want to deal with him. I don't want another Iron Fist meta. I don't think that will make him meta, but it's just, I just don't like the character, okay? Moving on. We have new team-ups, we have adjusted team-ups, we have team-ups that are removed. Bestial Hunt is the new team-up between Punisher and Daredevil. As the team-up anchor, Daredevil gains 25 HP and 5% boost in his damage output, so he's gonna have 325 HP. I'm pretty sure that is from the team-up anchor. His base HP is 300. And then Daredevil and Punisher have a new team-up. Punisher has a team-up where he can blind enemies, right? And I think mark them as well. We saw it in the trailer. We're probably going to see it very, very soon. But when they showed it on the trailer, he basically would blind enemies and mark them. I think he marks them, but I'm not sure about this, which means he can see them through walls. But Punisher can already see through walls if they're close enough. So, interesting team up. I don't know if it's going to make him good or not. Next up, they did remove Namor from the Hulk team up. So that is very exciting news. We don't have this terrorist team up anymore that everybody despises, and they actually added a new team up for Hela plus Namor, which is basically a new ability that anti-heals. We have another anti-heal in the game, which makes 3 anti-heals now. Blade, Namor, and Venom. I think this is an attempt by them to actually make the game way less profitable if you're playing triple support, because with so much anti-heal, there's no reason to play so many support characters. And the team up itself, an ability, AoE, anti-heals for a while. I assume the anti-heal effect is probably going to be the same as Blades. And whenever you kill somebody, you spawn a squid that I'm pretty sure cannot be shot, that shoots, you know, the enemies. So very interesting. I think the main thing that actually balances this team up is it is very difficult to have a Hela and a Namor in the team, because you need both your DPS to be playing those 2 characters. It's way easier to have a Hulk Namor. I think in general, having the tank as the anchor makes it way easier to activate a team up. Having 2 DPS, it is very, very difficult. Like we saw it with Magic and BP and Psylocke. That was never happening. Like, having all 3 of them in the game was just never happening. Even 2 of them wasn't happening in the first place, right? With tanks, it's just way easier to have a tank player that can play Hulk and somebody who can sometimes play Namor. Having a Namor and Hela at the same time, considering the fact that you do want to change quite a lot in the game when playing DPS, will probably be very, very rare, right? But if it is too strong, I assume people are going to play it all the time. We're going to see the stats, but on paper, it seems pretty busted. Not going to lie, it might be worse than the Namor Gamma team-up. And they also nerfed the Magic team-up, which I honestly thought was absolutely OP, from 15 seconds to 20 seconds on the cooldown, so it's increased. And second of all, the slow effect at maximum range is 40% instead of 60%. The team-up is still going to be good. It's going to be worse, but still really good. I actually really like the team-up. I think it is very, very fun. It is very good. Probably not fun if you're playing strategist, but it is fun addition to the game. In the sense that it is quite unique for Magic and fits her kit quite a bit. A lot of team-ups are just really random, like Hela and Venom, but Magic, I think, you know, it just makes the character a lot stronger, and it just fits her kit. It just fits her design. So maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think this nerf is very warranted because it was strong, and you know, it still keeps the team up good. It's not a bad team up. I think you're still gonna stay. You're still gonna see Strange and Magic be played together just to activate the team up. And finally, Hela and Thor no longer have a team up. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but you know, that doesn't exist anymore because Hela has a new team up with Namor. And that's it. Those are the patch notes. Leave your comments. Give me your opinions. Tell me how stupid I am. Yup. I know. I'm always wrong and I don't know anything about the game. You know, I read quite a bit of the comments quite often. I either laugh or think about it myself, but you know, I'm not a perfect man. I'll probably say an opinion that I have on some of these changes and I'm going to be completely wrong. But thank you so much for watching and see you very soon for the brand new mid-season. Bye.